Welcome to another episode, yeah, Sports Talk, and welcome to Week 11 of the NFL season. That's right, we're already up to Week 11, 2023 season, and things are looking precarious for some teams. Some of them are trying to see who's going to be the number one draft pick, where Chicago's going. They're going to have pick 2 and 3. All right. Um, let's kind of go over what transpired last week. Actually did better, increased by one, which is always a good thing. I went 9-5. C.J. Stroud has submitted his name as NFL Rookie of the Year. His name should be implied to the MVP as well. He outperformed Gerald Burrow. Outperformed him. He was cool, calm, and collective in face of the Bengal onslaught. Um, no mistakes that really hurt his team. Burrow did. So I think C.J. Stroud is definitely should be up there as an MVP. He's not included there. That's a travesty to his thing. He has been a diamond in the rough. I didn't think he'll be this good as a quarterback in the pros. So I'm glad to be proven wrong. I'm glad that he is given the correct opportunity. He has some great pieces surrounding him in Houston. This team is only going to get better. And then Baltimore has become Baltimore of old, where what lead? They coughed up a commanding lead to the Cleveland Browns and lost. The Cleveland Browns even missed an extra point to tie the game and still finding ways to hand the Browns a victory. But on a downside for Cleveland Browns fans and for the organization itself, Deshaun Watson is now gone for the season. He suffered a couple injuries during that game against Baltimore. Had high ankle sprain. He stayed in that game and just toughed it out and played through the pain to win the game. Come to find out, he has a fractured bone in his throwing shoulder that has to be surgically repaired now. And he is benched. He is done. Which means now everything falls on P.J. Walker now. So we'll see how that one kind of plays out. But yeah, it's going to be devastating for Cleveland. That defense is riding high. It's got a nice game this weekend to kind of test that out. Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray returned and led the Cardinals in a comeback victory against the Falcons in a ugly contest out there in Glendale. But is this the catalyst the Cardinals need to kind of revitalize their season? Because they've had other issues. I mean, they had the whole Joshua Dobbs who started. They benched him and traded him, and then look what he's doing now. Winners of 2 in a row in Minnesota. I mean, that Joshua Dobbs story up in Minnesota is should put a smile on your face. Looking at the guy who's bounced around the league a couple times, been a couple teams, and now having no reps, and then coming into the game 2 weeks ago to win it for Minnesota and being the starter this week and winning it. So you have that going on for you. And then Monday night, who would have thunk this? Buffalo, first play, a scrimmage, fumble. They don't have, I think, 5 turnovers in a complete embarrassment. That game was just ugly all around. Buffalo was definitely out of sync. There was no connection anywhere. Stephon Diggs' brother is then trying to say that he needs to get out of there for his brother to get out of Buffalo. But he got traded to Buffalo from Minnesota, and that's what really helped propel both their status. I know the mess in Buffalo is just immense. That's so immense that Dorsey's been canned already. He's been sacked. He's no longer the OC in Buffalo. What's this going to mean for the rest of the season for the Bills? I don't know. Way Josh Allen played against Denver, it was bad. It was like the rookie year of Josh Allen. Just overthrowing, underthrowing. I mean, it was just And that's typical self. And Russell Wilson and Sean Payton has really decided to have really begin to gel as a good coach quarterback combo. And that's going to be scary. Russ is not a quarterback to let them sit back there and cook. He's that good to be able to pick you apart. And of course, dumb penalties by Buffalo. That's another thing. No discipline whatsoever. Towards the end of the game, Buffalo actually took the lead. Very happy to get the touchdown, the 2-point conversion. Everyone's ecstatic. Denver's driving. Pass interference. 24-yard penalty puts Denver now in a position for a game-winning field goal. They just have to go a couple kneel-down plays, just kind of burn us the clock. Then a kick, line up for the the field goal. Kick it, missed it. 12 men on the field for the Bills. Denver re-kicks. Kicks a winning field goal. Time expired. That is it. The Denver Broncos go into Buffalo and escape with a W. Leaving everyone shaking their heads like, WTF. What is wrong with the Bills right now? Like I said, the Bills were my pick to represent the AFC this year. They've been my pick that represent the AFC many years. I know I'm second guessing that pick right now. But they're not that far out of the playoff race, so things can happen, especially with Cleveland. Deshaun Watson being out of Cleveland. We'll kind of see what happens with Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Can't see Deshaun the Texans maintain. You still got the Chargers and Justin Herbert you got to worry about. There's a lot of other innuendos play into the AFC race that you never know. But anyways, that was last week. Like I said, 9-5, improved by 1. Good on me. So let's go ahead and kick off week 11 with Thursday night action. A AFC North showdown in Baltimore. Once again, Baltimore playing host to another Ohio team, this time the Cincinnati Bengals. Both these teams come off of disappointing losses last week. Baltimore not holding a lead, and Cincinnati just getting outplayed by Houston. The Baltimore defense is going to do some terrible things to that Bengals offense. Terrible things. Just how they play. But for some reason, Cincinnati seems to perform well against the Ravens. They've had this thing where they go into Baltimore and being the underdog and come out victors. So I'm not going to take anything away from the Bengals, but T. Higgins not being there could be a huge factor in this matchup. Can Mixon get back into form? Can the Burrow-Chase connection continue to thrive? Can Baltimore haul into a lead? That's another issue they have going on right now. And, Baltimore looked great against Seattle and Detroit, but it came against Cleveland and just floundered. So, and Cincinnati has not played well against AFC teams, which is going to be hamper them in the playoffs hunt, because if they're in a tie with other teams for that last position, that they don't play each other, they're going to go off that AFC record, and Cincinnati's AFC record is atrocious. So a lot of things hinder on this game. Baltimore can survive if they loses. Cincinnati, I don't think, can't. They have to win this game to maintain their position in the race for the playoffs. Especially now they're behind Houston in that category. So, with that being said, Baltimore's favored by 3.5. I'm going underdog. I'm taking the Bengals. Like I said, they seem to play well in Baltimore anyways. They are seem to play better when they're the underdogs. So, I don't see why that shouldn't be the case anyways. And we'll go Bengals. After Sunday, go to Cleveland, where now the Deshaun Watson-less Browns will play host to the Pittsburgh Steelers in another key AFC North clash. AFC North is probably one of the toughest divisions in the NFL this season. Can the Steelers' offense operate against that Browns defense? Kenny Pickett has shown signs that he could be a great quarterback in the NFL, but he's yet to really materialize. Maybe it's the offensive play calling of Canada that's kind of hampered some things. Najee Harris not really getting breaking loose and trying to get those break those tackles and slip through the lines. But that defense for the Steelers is no joke. The Browns defense is no joke. These are two killer defensive squads. It's going to be a defensive showdown. Can the Steelers contain P.J. Walker? Momentarily, he'll still cook. He has abilities to do that, especially when you have Amari Cooper as one of your receivers. So just give him the ball, let him do the work for you, and make anyone look good, even me. And I can't throw past 10 yards. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, Cleveland's favored by 1, and I think it's going to be a pick-em game. I really do. I will take Pittsburgh in this one just because of P.J. Walker. If Deshaun Watson's playing, I'll go on Browns. But because P.J. Walker's not there, or Deshaun's not there, and P.J. Walker is, I'll go more with Kenny Pickett in this scenario. But it is going to be a hard-fought contest and should be very enjoyable to watch. Then we have to the Motor City, where the Lions will play host to the Chicago Bears. And this is the game that I think is just going to be ugly if you're a Bears fan. Justin Fields looks like he's going to be returning for this game against a very, very good Lions defensive front. And with that porous offensive line for Chicago, it's atrocious. Detroit's just playing extremely well. Where they're going, they could be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Especially if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, rest of their schedule, and their matchup with Dallas at the end of the year. Yeah, San Francisco have some troubles. So, but Detroit's going to be way too much for Chicago. Right now, the line's 7.5. I agree with that too. The Lions. Then we head over to Lambeau Field, where the Packers play host to the LA Chargers. Now, this one I struggle to pick who's going to win, because both teams right now are underperforming. They're not performing well as some people would have thought. Now, the Packers, for me, is where I thought they would be, because you have a new quarterback taking over. There's going to be growing pains. It's a very young receiving core, decent defense. So you got to get this time for everyone to kind of click and find ways to kind of do it. I think towards the end of the year, you start seeing Green Bay performing the way they should, and then they can build off of that. The Chargers have not really lived up to expectations. Mullins come in as the OC. Has not changed the aspect. I think he made the Chargers worse offensively. And with the Chargers being 4-5, they just can't seem to get out of the way. They have a great defensive duo in Bosa and Khalil Mack, so should make work of the Green Bay's offense and make that love connection in the backfield. Can the Chargers offense pick apart the Packers? I think they can. I think there's just too much talent on the Chargers not to go with them. Like I said, they're underperforming. They need this win to stay close to that AFC playoff race for especially that 7th spot, if they want to get at least a chance to get in the playoffs. But it's going to be hard pressed for them to do that. I had higher expectations for this team heading into the season, and they have not lived up to any hype whatsoever. Chargers are favored by 3. The way both teams are playing, I agree with that. Chargers. And that 8 is we head down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. And I have a feeling that Tua is going to cook. He is going to shred the Raiders' defense. I know Max Crosby's going to have some things to say about this one, but the Raiders' offense, not stellar. Ever since getting rid of Josh McDaniels, they've won 2 in a row, but now they're playing a more playoff caliber team. We'll see how that plans out for them. But I think the Dolphins should win. Right now, the Dolphins are favored by 13.5. I'll push back on that one. I'll go more 10.5. I think it's going to be more of like a 10-point victory myself. But I still think the Dolphins will end up winning this game. In the NFC East clash in D.C., as the Commanders play host to the Giants. And this is going to be an ugly contest. Washington actually played pretty well against Seattle last week. despite missing two key defensive linemen. They traded away, but they seem to be doing extremely well. The Giants are just a complete disarray. There's no, I think, saving the season for them. Davo's just don't know what's going on. It's in shambles. I think the Giants really need to look at a new quarterback. Um, that's just my opinion. And right now, Washington's favored by 9.5. I'm not too sure about this one since this is a divisional game. The Giants will play this one a lot closer, and I will think it'll be closer than that. I might go with like a 3.5, maybe 4.5 spread, but I still go with Washington. The Cowboys will head to Carolina, and this one I don't think is going to be much to it. Once again, Dallas is going to take on a very bad team. Dallas is going to look good. So would they against Philly? They struggle against Philly. They had Philly dead to rights, and they couldn't capitalize. This one, they're going to capitalize on opportunities. They're going to shred Carolina. It's 10.5 right now for Dallas. I'm cool with that. Cowboys. AFC South showdown. We have the Titans coming in and take on the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Jaguars got bounced back by getting embarrassed by the 49ers at home. The Titans, I think, are in a rebuild. I think they found the quarterback in Levis. I think Tannehill's gone. DeAndre Hopkins is not much of a factor. Derrick Henry doesn't seem to be much of a factor. I mean, come on, 9 games in the season, he only has 600 yards. There's something wrong in that aspect. He should be at least at 800 or 750 even. 625 exactly. So Derrick Henry is not able to really burst out and make these huge games. I don't know if they're not running them enough, or the offensive line is not that bad where they can't get a run and get the holes open for them. But something needs to change in Tennessee. I think it's going to be a rebuild year next year. Jacksonville, I think their time is now. Trevor Lawrence looks pretty good. His touchdown numbers are nowhere near it should be. They're almost on par with his interceptions. Not good, but very talented individual. I think they have no issues right now. Jacksonville's favored by 7. I agree with that. Jags. Over to H-Town, where Kyler Murray comes to town with his Cardinals to take on the Rookie of the Year and possible MVP, C.J. Stroud. I'm going to tout C.J. Stroud as MVP. Way he's performing this year is just phenomenal. Unfortunately, the only way for him to go is down, but if he continues this trajectory, he should be really good. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. They're going to be damn close. Way they're playing is just phenomenal. I mean, 15 touchdowns, only 2 picks. 2. That's better than almost every single person on this damn list. But it's the Houston Texans. They can't seem to win a lot of games, but he does extremely well. He's just getting better and better every time he plays. And right now, Houston's fair about 4.5. I agree with that. I think Arizona will make this tough. This is how Arizona is. I mean, they surprised Dallas, but then they coughed up the lead against the Giants, so you don't know which Cardinals you're going to get. Probably the one that coughed up the lead to the Giants. But I definitely will go Texans. Out to Santa Clara, where the 49ers play host to the Buccaneers, and San Francisco returned back to form last week. Tampa Bay had a nice win against Tennessee last week, snapping their 4-game slide. But can they do it back-to-back? No. 49ers healthy is just too much to worry about. You have Young and Bosa on the defensive side. So if you double team those guys, you leave the middle open for the defensive tackles in the middle to get sacks. So that front is now a force to be reckoned with. Once again, 49ers made a great trade at the deadline once again. They did it last year with McCaffrey. Do it this year with Chase, and I have a feeling it's going to be an ugly game right now. The 49ers are 11.5 favorites. I'll kind of push back a bit because Tampa Bay does have a pretty good defense. Baker Mayfield will probably surprise him a few plays here and there before he'll start crumbling because that's a good defense. I'll push it back to probably about a 10, 9.5 mark, but definitely 49ers. Then the Jets land in Buffalo to take on the struggling Bills. And the Bills now with no OC. Dorsey's gone. Maybe that's a shakeup that Josh Allen needs to maybe, kick in a high gear. The Jets right now, their offense is just bleh. It is bad. Zach Wilson cannot score touchdowns. He has a hard time staying upright, but that defense is what's keeping Jets in games. So the defense helped win the game last time these two faced off, I believe, in week 1, where they beat the Bills. And Zach Wilson was able to throw a touchdown. This is the game where Aaron Rodgers was injured in a second play. I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs need to get back into their rhythm again. They've kind of gone out of that for some reason. They need to get back in sync. They need to really connect and need to find ways to get Stephon Diggs open. Now, he's probably going to be guarded quite heavily because he should be the feature attack for this offense. And then Josh Allen should be able to run to kind of help balance the defense a bit. Because the other receivers right now in Buffalo are not really doing much. I mean, Kincaid has a few catches here and there, and then he'll drop a few. He's a rookie. But Josh needs to control his arm speed and his accuracy better because he's done it where he's made these throws. Errant throws, basically. That's led to interceptions. Now, a lot of tip catches, whatnot, tip balls, really going against quarterback, but sometimes that's receiver right there and not catching the ball. But like I said, he needs to get back to getting Diggs back in the rhythm of things, and he worry about getting a running attack going. Maybe Kincaid will start seeing the ball a little bit more in open field catches, especially start doubling up Diggs once they start making those connections once again. But I'm taking the Bills at home. Right now the line's 7. I'm pushing that back to 3. This is going to be a close fought game, just how these two teams are playing. But I think the Bills need this win to maintain a pace to get to that playoff position. We head out to SoFi where the Rams play host to the Seahawks. Geno Smith seems to be doing quite well. Had to lead a comeback and handle that Washington. The Rams is just a team that's just have a bunch of unknown receivers, old quarterbacks. It's a weird combination out there for the Rams. They spent all that money a few years ago to get that Super Bowl trophy. Now they're paying the price. I don't see anything that really points to me that the Rams are going to do much of anything. I think the Rams will make this competitive because it is a divisional game. They play well against each other. But we'll take the Seahawks to win in L.A. Right now, they're favored by 1. I see that. I think Geno Smith and Walker should have a decent game. Walker definitely needs more than just, 600 yards. But we'll see how that one kind of goes. The Sunday night affair will go to Mile City, where the resurgent Russell Wilson will take on the surprise Joshua Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings. This should be interesting just because of the fact that the Vikings have now Joshua Dobbs saved their season. Back-to-back wins. I think that's a huge plus for them. Russell, the way Denver is playing right now is just a phenomenal aspect. I mean, knocking off Kansas City, knocking off Buffalo. 2 quality teams right there. What makes you think they can't do it against Minnesota? They are buying into Sean Payton's system. This is going to be huge. I think Russ is going to cook. He will find ways to pick apart that Vikings defense. I think the Denver's defense is going to be enough to hamper Joshua Dobbs' continued winning streak. This will be close. Right now, it's 2.5 in favor of Denver. I like that. taking the Broncos. Monday night, Super Bowl rematch. That's right. The Philadelphia Eagles are heading to Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And can they do it? Can the Eagles overcome the Chiefs in this matchup? Remember, it's the kind of a different Eagles defense. Jalen Hurts right now has questions about his knee. He suffered a little bit of injury against the Cowboys. Can the Chiefs maintain a game? You saw what happened last time they played a couple weeks ago in Germany, where they were all over the Dolphins in the first half and could not score a single touchdown in that second half. They had a game against Denver. They had no touchdowns. So you have 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks because they didn't play last week. So can't really say that. And the Eagles just seem to find ways to win. Now, Chiefs' defense is actually better than what a lot of people give them credit for, especially me. But outside of Travis Kelce, who else does Patrick Mahomes throw to? And that's part of the problem. You can't really seem to trust anyone else. How do you get over that? How do you contain that? Patrick Mahomes is going to be that. It's going to be one of those, phenomenal quarterbacks. Doesn't matter, how much you try to contain him. He's going to find ways to make things work in their system and just find ways to win. In this one, I don't know. That's going to be difficult for me. I don't like going against Mahomes. I really don't. I like Philadelphia to win the rematch. I really do. KC's favored by 2.5. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal quarterback. I mean, it's just what he can do is just amazing. Jalen Hurts is a almost a mirror image of him. He does some crazy things himself. He's going to be a little more timid because of that knee if he does play. Unfortunately, recording a video, like 4 days before the game, things can change, and then Jalen Hurts can be rolled out, and that totally changes the aspect of the game, and I'll take the L. But if Jalen Hurts wins, I think the Eagles should be able to do that because he lit up the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Lit them up. If the Eagles won, he would have been a Super Bowl MVP, hands down. With that being said, I think he's going to find ways to kind of tap into that game plan. Look what worked then. Look at game film and see what happens with them, how you can exploit some of the defensive holes, what little they seem to be right now. But I think the Eagles will be able to pull this one off. 2.5 I kind of like anyways because I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. It's going to be like a last play to kind of win it, but I will take the Eagles in the rematch. There you go. Those are my picks. So we're quick, fast, in a hurry. Some of them went on a tangent. I do apologize. There's just like so many different stories in the windows coming in here. But, like I said, there's a lot of in the windows in this one. The race for Caleb Williams is going on. If you believe in him or not. He seems to be the overall favorite for the number 1 draft pick. We'll see how that plays out towards the rest of the year. The race to win the number 1 seeds in the conferences are still up in the air. I mean, the way things are going, Detroit could win the NFC. I mean, that's how close it could be. We'll take it to AFC. Which AFC team won't make it that should make the playoffs? I mean, there's a lot of things. AFC is loaded top down. There's like a handful of teams. You just go ahead and just toss them aside. Jets, Patriots, Raiders. Just toss them to the side. They're like, yeah, these guys are not going to be competitive and make any impact whatsoever. I mean, Raiders might. I mean, I just got to throw names out there, but I think everyone kind of throw the Jets and Patriots out already. NFC, you got a lot more teams. You go ahead and just toss out and go, okay, these guys are not going to make it, and not going to be much of a problem. The G-Men, the Bears, Cardinals. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, these races are going to get closer and they're going to get tighter. Injuries are going to play a key factor in a lot of these matchups, and we'll see pretenders crash, contenders rise. That's right. The reason why we watch these games, you highlight these games, you watch these spectacular plays these guys do. They love it. But hey, let me know down below which game you think I got completely wrong. Do you think? I mean, that Super Bowl rematch one, yeah. I can see it go that way as well, but I like the Eagles in that one. Maybe Chicago pulls off an upset in the Mother City. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. Anything can happen on Sunday. Just let me know down in the comments below. Once you're down there, go hit that thumbs up, especially like the content I provide you. It really helps pleases the YouTube guys. Really help promote this video out in the algorithms, get them out in the ether. More faces to see this chiseled, lovely face. Just talking out my rear end about football. You also subscribe. Over 90% of you are not subscribed. Doesn't cost you anything. I mean, literally, it costs you nothing. It doesn't affect you at all. It just helps me boost his channel and be able to continue what I love doing, talk about football, and interacting with you guys. You're going to do is hit that subscribe button, click that bell icon, turn on your notifications. Let you know next time I post any more content on my channel. And I'll see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.